Hey everybody, my name is Vinod Zachariah. I'm a senior engineering manager here at FloQast, and this is Chat with an Engineer, where we'll be talking with various engineers at FloQast and get to know them. I'm joined here by Kris. Kris, can you kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Kris. I am currently engineering, or I guess an SDET manager, and I'm transitioning into that role after being an individual contributor slash SDET for most of my career here at FloQast.
Nice. And how long have you been here?
Oh man, I've been here for 3.5 years. It's going to be
uh
4 years in April.
Wow,
Now,
wow. You've probably seen a ton in that time, right? Like the shift between where you started. What's been the biggest change that you've seen so far?
oh man, yeah, it is. It is. It's almost like a completely different company now. So just the size of engineering in general is just crazy. Like when I first started, I was I guess I was one of three SDETs when I first came on.
Wow,
Yeah, I know. And
wow,
then we just hired three SDETs on Monday. So now our team is, I think, at 11 or 12, I think, right now. So
wow.
so
That's
just
awesome.
just that just that little small microcosm is
Uh
kind
huh.
of enough to show you like how big our team is now. We have like 12 SDETs. Now we have oh my gosh, our engineering department is like ballooned to I can't remember the number now, but it's big now. It's big. So, with it comes a lot more people, but just a lot more things that we're building, a lot more things going on in general that have to sort of happen in concert. It's just like a
In
crazy,
concert.
yeah.
In concert, Kris. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Bringing out the big words today. Would you say they have to be in unison?
you know, we're kind of like making a symphony, if you will.
Oh, a symphony. That's yes,
A
an
symphony
orchestra
of
of.
code. But yeah,
Yes.
it's a bunch of different yeah, there's just a bunch of different scaling problems that we have to solve now, as opposed to when we were like really small, when we were just working on one kind of like repo. Now we have a ton of different repos and just a bunch of different things going on. It's just a really exciting time to be part of the company.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And so, like, you talked about there's like different problems that you've been facing over time, right? So, when you do have a problem, where do you go for help? Who do you turn to? Who do you work with to solve those kinds of problems?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, the so every SDET is sort of assigned to a pod team. A pod
Okay.
is just like a small kind of group of engineers that are working on a
Yeah.
very specific part of our product or our stack. So because we're like in that pod and we're sort of going to all the planning meetings and going to all the grooming meetings and all the stand-ups, that they're the first people that you probably contact if you have a problem, because they know the stack really well. So like if you have a problem with like, hey, I'm having trouble testing this, you can
Yeah.
bounce some ideas off of the other engineers in your pod. And also, the QE team kind of meets twice a week as well to sort of discuss what
Nice.
we're releasing, what we're working on. And if we have trouble with like the automation, or if we have trouble with just testing in general, if we need to bounce ideas off of engineers, we could do so with the other members of the QE team as well. And then,
Yeah.
I think there's other, like if we have specific problems with like, say, infrastructure, there's always the DevOps team that's there to help us as well. And yeah, the whole engineering department in general is very, collaborative, and everybody's very willing to sort of step in and help you out if you're stuck.
Yeah. I mean, you
Yeah.
talked about automation there. Can you go a little bit deeper? Like, what does that mean for you specifically and for your team, right?
Yeah.
And what percentage of your day is spent on that versus something else?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we we're of the mindset here at Flowcast that we're kind of like writing automation to help us test and release just more efficiently. So when I say automation, I'm kind of referring to automated tests. And
Yeah.
from a QB specific point of view, that means kind of writing Selenium UI automated tests to sort of test, to kind of simulate what the user would do in our system in the browser. But then also we're writing API tests as well. So we're testing sort of directly hitting the backend routes and then just kind of verifying that the response back is correct. And that's kind of like generally, like at a high level, what I mean by automation. And it's a very technical process. Like I think it's not trivial to kind of write these things. It's like it's a really unique kind of skill that our QE engineers have. And
Yeah.
sometimes we run into problems where we run into something that's difficult to test, or the
Yeah.
engineer just doesn't know how to like do in the browser or in the API. So when I kind of say like automation kind of challenges, that's kind of what I mean. And that's why like the other engineers that we've hired on are like such a good resource for that, like especially for somebody that might come in that without like a lot of Selenium experience, or like without a lot of API experience. There's a bunch of different members of our team that are like experts at that kind of stuff that can sort of help out if another QE member has trouble.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So what's been, like you said, there's different challenges that have popped up. What's been a recent hard thing that y'all ran into and you're like, all right, we gotta, put our brains together for this one. How'd you, and what made it so hard, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, this is kind of semi-recent. I think one of the things that we were struggling with was we had to for our UI tests are just typically slow. They're just like slow,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a little flaky. So one of the recent things we had to do is it's not actually too recent. It's like maybe a couple of years old at this point. But like one of the big breakthroughs for Kiwi was we had to sort of enable the UI tests to run in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's not really a trivial problem because of the way our system is set up. If you log in with one user, it'll kick the other one out. So we had to kind of think about how to set this up, and we made it such that like we made a bunch of identical test data, maybe like 8 to 16 sets of it, so that we could kind of make the automation use any one of those in parallel. So basically, when we kind of set up the data in this way, we were able to kind of run in 8 to 16 kind of parallel threads, and it sped up. We got like a 8x kind of improvement on running the UI. Yeah. So
That's
so
awesome.
basically we could run, to give you kind of a sense of scale there, like we have about I think about 500 UI tests or so. Don't quote me on that. That might be
Yeah, yeah.
I might be inflating the number just to make myself look good there.
Just to make it sound really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then,
1 million UI tests.
give,
8,000%.
give or take like 10,000, but yeah, like we have those tests, and they're running in about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's like that allows us to sort of release really fast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you do outside of work? What are you doing like when you're not, trying to solve like QE scale problems?
Yeah. Well, I'm a dad first and foremost. I have two like kids. They're 8 and 5, so most of my
Nice.
day will be spent kind of like playing with them. Although they have discovered electronics and they think that those
Game
are
over.
pretty interesting compared to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are we
you know,
talking like iPad electronics or are we talking about like circuit kind of
no,
building
yeah.
robotics?
We're talking. I wish that'd be really cool.
That would
And
be
then,
super sweet.
then I could send them out into the workforce and be like, "Hey, make me some money."
Wait, what? I think they
No.
call that child labor.
Oh, really? Okay, let's just
Oh,
cut that
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Sorry.
We'll cut that out. That goes out of this video. Done. Done.
But yeah, like they discovered yeah, like iPad, they discovered YouTube, that kind of stuff. So but then yeah, for a lot of my day it's kind of spent hanging out with them. And then yeah, on the weekends I stream music on Twitch. So I play acoustic guitar and
Wait,
sing on
what?
Twitch. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew
It
this.
explains the excellent sort of mic setup there.
Yes, do you like?
Very
Yeah,
cool. Very
I
cool.
think yeah, in general I'm really, even outside of Twitch, I'm very
Yeah.
interested in audio and video, so that's kind of like a hobby of mine too. The camera that
That's
you're
really
looking at
cool.
right now is, you know not to brag, but it's a little bit more expensive than just a regular webcam.
I feel like in awe right now, Kris.
I don't know.
That's super cool. That's super cool. All right. Well, Kris, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Hope you had a good time. I certainly enjoyed getting to learn a little bit more about the QE team. And yeah, catch you guys next time.
Yep. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks, Manoj.
All right. Bye.